It's one of the best kept secrets in Annapolis. Paca House is one of the 4 homes of the signers of the Declaration of Independence from Maryland. The other is Carroll House, which is open on weekends to the public. There's also the Chase House, which is privately held. The 4th house is the Stone House, and that is not open to the tourists. We're the only community in the 13 colonies, or 13 original states, that have all the houses of all the signers. The William Paca House was constructed in 1763. It included the mansion, and when he developed the house, he also developed a 2.5-acre garden, which is a formal English garden of the period that the house was built. It's got several parterres. It has a summer house. It has a small fish pond in it. It has a section that is devoted to growing vegetables, food, not just pleasure. Now, unfortunately, the garden was lost in the 19th century rather, when the house was converted into a hotel, and in a large hotel, Carville Hall, was built over the garden. In 1973, the house was purchased by the Historic Annapolis and was restored. Paca House is actually a 4-level Georgian-style brick home. There are 2 levels that are essentially living quarters. The main floor, which includes 2 large parlors and a dining area. The house is furnished with a variety of objects. Unfortunately, later on after his death, that house burned and many of his personal belongings were lost. So we have some items, but we've refurnished it with a few that we can find of his, but we have a number of objects that we've borrowed or that we've acquired that are of the period, that bring you to life in a home that is here in the second half of the 18th century. The second floor has 3 bedrooms. There's actually a 4th room, which is a small room, which is a dressing room for Mrs. Paca. There are 2 bedrooms to the front of the house and 1 to the rear. The one to the rear is interesting in that we have it interpreted now as a sick room for a child or for an adult, and we have staged it so that you can see the types of instruments, the types of things that a person that was ill might experience during that period of time. There are 2 wings attached to it. The western wing was used by Mr. Paca as his law office. The eastern wing was the area where the kitchen is located.
This is called a jack. It is a reproduction, and what you have to do is you take the crank and you crank it up, and it's attached to a rotisserie, and the rotisserie rotates the meat or the haunch of venison or whatever they're going to be eating. And then when the weight gets down, if the food is cooked, it's done. If not, you re-crank it and it does it again.
We brought in samples, recreations of food of the period, which make it a very interesting area. We invite our guests to come in, experience a tour, and then to linger as long as they wish in the garden. It's a beautiful setting, it's a beautiful place, and it's part of Paca.